So Mike, the Mike Cooley show here on Friday, it was the opener of his tour. Louisville got the first bid, I guess, just because geographically he had to drive to Chicago, so he figured he'd stop somewhere. But I mean, it was fantastic to just see him in his element, just him and his guitar. I had a great time at the show. I had never seen any Drive-By Trucker show or any Drive-By Trucker perform. So it was a first for me. Karen had been several times. And I have, as I've said on this show since we started, I have just recently gotten, really into Drive-By Truckers, and I'm, probably becoming a heathen for sure. But I'm just getting to know all this stuff. And so being able to see and hear him play by himself was really cool after having listened to the catalog a few times through. I even had a song that, I wanted him to play and, would have yelled out, but I'm not like Tom. Tom likes to yell shit out. I'm not a Tom, at a show. But he did not play Bob, which is the one song that I thought I really liked. That's a really cool song.
Yeah.
But that's okay. He played, Gravity's Gone and a bunch of others that I really like. So it was a fun show. Here's my little story though. This was really cool. And I kind of expected this would happen. And I think it's what happens when you guys go to see the truckers or when you're at a trucker related event, because Tom knows people. But Karen and I were walking up to the bar. We were kind of walking up the street beside the bar. So the music venue's in the back. So we were walking by basically the stage door. And as we walked up, I see this guy getting a box out of a Jeep and turning it around, hauling the box in on his shoulder. And I'm like, hey, it's Mike. And it was him, taking his t-shirts out of his car. And I was like, hey. And he said, hey, what's up? And he walked inside. I didn't want to stop him or interrupt him because he was carrying something, but it was just kind of neat that he was just there and his wife was, selling the t-shirts. And it was, for a band that has been around as long as they have and is, cumulatively as big as they are, it's kind of cool that you can go to a show and maybe shake his hand and say hello to him. And, they're approachable, which is really different, I think, for a lot of folks.
Absolutely. The same thing did happen to us last night at the Hideout. Cooley walked in, we were sitting at the bar before the doors opened to the venue, which was in the back of the bar. And the Hideout is another one of those legendary places, music venues here in Chicago. So I've seen countless shows there in the last 25 years. But we were sitting at the bar and, Cooley just walks in. He's got his guitar in the case on his shoulder. He's got a knit cap like propped up on his head. Yep. And his wife Ainsley is, right behind him. And then she made several trips back and forth to the car to unload the boxes. And we offered help, but she's like, no, I got it. And what was cool is after the show Friday night with Patterson, and then after the show last night with Cooley, they both were hanging out after, signing autographs and, taking pictures. Nice. Well, Patterson said Friday night, no pictures because then it just takes too long. And I was cool with that because, I'm going to be respectful. But then there was a couple of people ahead of us in the line who took a picture with him. And I'm like, well, I'm getting a picture with him. So, I did. And then totally fangirling. And then last night with Cooley, yep, I took a picture with him and I was wearing the Cooley and Hood and Isbell t-shirt.
I saw that.
So I walked up to him. I'm like, hey, you like my shirt?
Nice.